In all the excitement of closing on your new home, you may have misplaced key documents. There are certainly documents that you want to keep that form the basis of your homeowner journal moving forward. Let's take a closer look at what you're going to want to keep. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is helping you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent where you live, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, and all that hustle and bustle when you were at the closing table with the title company, maybe even the real estate attorney, your buyer agent, all those people right there with you, you were signing mammoth amount of documents. But what were all those documents? Now, more than likely, the title company gave you a copy on your way out. But in all the excitement, you might have got into the car and just tossed it in the back seat, never to see it again, and maybe you incidentally threw it away. Let's talk about those documents that you really want to keep and what happens if you've misplaced those documents. The first thing to know about are what documents are really super important that you want to keep. Now, you can be keeping a physical paper copy of all of this. You can keep it in a binder, you can keep it in a folder, you can keep it wherever you want, or you can back it up into the cloud. As you got serious about your home buying experience, hopefully your trusted real estate advisor has shared with you to go ahead and begin a journal or a binder with all the documents pertaining to purchasing your new home. Let's take a look at each of the 11 documents that you want to ensure are inside of your digital copy, maybe backed up on the cloud, or inside of your physical copy that you retain in your home office. The first document are any agent representation agreements. Agent representation agreements would have been signed early on in your home buying experience with your trusted real estate advisor working as your buyer agent. You'll want to retain any of the agreements you and your agent had. The second thing that you want to keep are your purchase contracts and agreements. Now, your agreements could have taken the form of any counter offers or negotiations that were taking place between you and the seller. You want to have a copy of not only that initial offer, but all the documentation that led up to what's called a ratified agreement. In other words, an agreement between you and the seller to move forward. Those documents are legally binding, and you want to make sure that you knew exactly what your contingencies were, exactly what your dates were, and exactly what was agreed upon moving forward. Now, often when you're inside of the closing process, if there's any additional agreements being made, then generally what would have been used is called an addendum. You want to keep a copy of everything on file moving forward. The third thing that you'll want to keep are any and all seller disclosures. Now, those seller disclosures hopefully came to you in the written form on something called a seller's real property disclosure, along with any other disclosures that might have arisen during the closing process. You'll want to retain any and all seller disclosures, whether they were verbal disclosures or written disclosures. You might be wondering, how are you exactly supposed to retain a verbal disclosure, right? It's very simple. Your buyer agent should have been making record of this in the form of either an addendum, a correspondence known as a text message, or an email, and keeping that on file to share with you and give to you moving forward in your home ownership experience. You want to retain any and all seller disclosures. The fourth thing that you're going to want to keep is your home inspection report. Now, obviously, you've already had this negotiated. Hopefully, the seller agreed to make some repairs that were meaningful to you, and everything is done. All the same, keep that home inspection report and any repair request that you made to the seller and any seller's response that you received to said repair request. It's also critically important to remember at this time to keep all of the invoices, quotes, or any repair receipts that were provided to you during the closing process. Go ahead and add that into your homeowner journal as well. The fifth thing you want to keep is your property appraisal. Now, this is something that your loan officer would have provided to you after your home appraisal was completed. You'll want to keep this on hand just in case there's ever a dispute over your assessed value. It gives you a little bit of leverage to provide this report to the county assessor or whomever you need to provide it to see if they can do a reevaluation of your property taxes if they seem a little bit high. The sixth thing that you want to keep is your owner's title policy. Now, your title officer and your escrow officer would have brought you up to speed on exactly what is an owner's title policy. In short, we want to protect you and ensure that nobody can come back and have a claim against your property. Having a copy of your owner's title policy is critically important to you moving forward because it's very easy to reference if you need to. One of the biggest benefits of title insurance is that it provides coverage for past problems in the chain of title over that property's history. This could include hidden risks like forged signatures, missing mortgage discharges, or even probate issues. Kind of get the idea here. It's important to have title insurance, and you want to keep your policy handy. The seventh thing that you want to keep is your homeowner's insurance policy. More than likely, your loan officer introduced you to an insurance agent to help you make sure that you're having the right type of coverage for your new home and help you to better understand your policy. This is something that you will want to review annually with your insurance agent moving forward. Make sure that you keep a copy of this so that you understand what coverages and exemptions are included in your policy. If something were to happen, like freezing pipes or a natural disaster or even theft or vandalism, you'll be happy that you have easy access to your homeowner's insurance records. The 8th thing that you want to keep are any home warranty information. Now, if you were purchasing a new home, oftentimes you're going to have builder warranties. Maybe that first year with the builders, like essentially bumper to bumper coverage for your new home, and then they might have a manufacturer's warranty and a builder's limited liability warranty moving forward into the future. You want to retain a copy of all of those records, and essentially anything that you get in the closing process you want to keep. But when it comes to warranties, you want to make sure you know what's covered and what's not. If you were purchasing a resale home, it is pretty common that a lot of trusted real estate advisors acting as your buyer agent would have probably requested a home warranty. Oftentimes with a home warranty, a buyer agent will request the seller to give you a home warranty for up to the first 12 months. You should have received a copy of that in the mail after closing, in addition to receiving the invoice or at least the receipt showing that it was ordered during the closing process. If you don't have that, please contact your buyer agent to make sure that you have your home warranty information. It's not always the case, but it is best practice that ideally you would have received a home warranty on either a resale home or a new construction. The 9th thing that you want to keep are your closing disclosures. Now, your closing disclosure is something that your loan officer would have given to you approximately 3 to 4 days in advance of your closing. This document details information about your loan and your closing cost. You can refer back to your CD anytime that you have questions about your loan terms, disclosures, and contact information. Not to mention, you want to have it on hand whenever tax season comes around again to give to Uncle Sam and see what kind of write-offs you might be able to get. The 10th thing that you want to keep a copy of is the actual property deed itself. Now, your property deed would have been recorded with your county assessor's office. You want to make sure that you have a copy of this, and this is something, again, that when the title company closed that day and you got recording confirmation, they would have sent what's called a broker closing package to your trusted real estate advisor. So not only will they have a copy of it, but title would have also mailed you a copy as well. The 11th thing that you want to keep is any other helpful information that you may have gleaned during the closing process. This could have been those times whenever you and the seller might have actually crossed paths. Maybe it was at the home inspection. Maybe it was when you're doing your final walkthrough and they would have pointed out to you, hey, Andrew, just by the way, I've been getting my AC serviced by this company. I've been having the lawn cut with this company. I've had the pool maintained by this company. So you get the idea. Any key contact providers that seller has been using up to that point can be beneficial to you moving forward into home ownership, so you know where to start with getting services provided to you in your new home. So if you're in the process of closing on your new home right now, you're probably like, hey, Andrew, you know what? This is great information. I'm doing just that right now. And in fact, I'm going back and making a checklist out of everything that I should have ready to go as a homeowner. But what happens if you've already closed on your home and you've lost all this stuff? Let's talk about 5 places you can get this information. The first place that you're going to go is to your buyer agent. Now, your buyer agent's brokerage is required to retain many of the documents that we just outlined, including your buyer agreement, your purchase contract, counter offers, addendums, and any other documents that were germane to the closing process. A good buyer agent will have retained copies of all your invoices, your receipts, and written correspondence, and turn verbal negotiations into written agreements so that you would have full disclosure and written format of exactly what was agreed upon during the closing process of your new home. Please contact them and you will be able to get a lot of the documents we just mentioned. Your second source of information is your loan officer. Now, your loan officer will have a copy of the appraisal report, your closing disclosure, and any of your loan related documents. That's where you want to get your loan information together. The third source of information is the title company, or in the states that require a real estate attorney, the real estate attorney's office itself. They would have had a certified copy of not only all the documents that your buyer agent is likely to have, but probably more important to you, your closing documents as well. Your closing documents will be retained by the attorney in the states that require them, or with a title company if you don't have an attorney. Please make sure that you reach out to them if you have any questions about getting a copy of your settlement documents. And the fourth place that you can go is actually to your county if you're missing your deed. Now, depending on the state that you live in, you may be able to access your county assessor's website, enter in what's called an assessor's parcel number, which is the parcel number that your house actually sits on, and be able to get a copy right there online in real time because it's public information in a lot of areas around the country. In case you need a little assistance with that, where can we go back to? Number one, your buyer agent will easily be able to get your tax record and your information directly from the tax records that are available to them in the multiple listing service. For an actual real copy of the deed, maybe you want to go over to the county assessor's office just to make sure that you have it. This is something, again, that the title company would have sent to you after everything was recorded. They would have mailed it to your new home or any other location that you told them that you wanted to receive your property deed. The fifth source is going to take a little bit more work. Now, those are the things that we're talking about with like home inspections and such. You're going to need to contact that home inspector to get a copy of your home inspection report if nobody else has that copy. So you can see the wisdom of keeping all of this information together while you're working through the closing process. Fortunately, after the closing process, again, a good buyer agent is more than likely retaining copies of all of this, not to mention their brokerage as well, so they're going to be able to furnish these documents. Now, a lot of brokers will keep this information for up to 5 to 7 years. It'll be archived and put under lock and key. So please make sure that you have your documents. If you've already closed on your new home, why not go back through the 11 documents that you want to keep now and make sure that you have copies of all of them. And please start your homeowner journal today. Now that you know more about the documents that you need to keep after buying a house, let's take a closer look at closing day for home buyers and a 12-point checklist for the first week in your new home. Looking forward to our next conversation. See you in a few.